And if you're joining us from last week, the quality of movies... Well, the last week we saw 2 really good movies, and that kind of kicked off this whole podcast idea. And so it's kind of perfect that we went from that to a movie that we really don't like, because...
Well, I wouldn't say we really don't like. I would say it's mediocre at best.
So Ocean's 8 is a movie in which Debbie Ocean gets out of jail, and she gets together her crack team to basically just pull off a heist so they can have a lot of money, similar to what happens in the Ocean's trilogy, which was male-led, and, well, this one's the female-led version. And it's directed by Gary Ross, who I haven't heard of yet. Who knows if he'll be back after this one. But
questionable. He probably will, but this movie, I'm feeling is probably going to get a lot of money just because of its title.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's a good movie though.
No, it's a big Ocean's 8. Everyone knows the Ocean's movies, even if you haven't seen them. And the movie has like 12, 13, 14 like recognizable famous people.
Yeah, I would say.
People are going to see this.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's such a shame that it's so just average.
Unforgettable. No,
really,
no,
yeah.
It is forgettable, sorry. It is. It's not unforgettable. I literally don't remember anything of this pretty much.
Yeah.
I just know what I didn't like.
Yeah.
It's just something that I don't know. I think recommendations, I would say, don't bother going to see it in the cinema. I would definitely say go and watch it when you are bored at home and it's on Netflix or it's, something you can just rent. It's, like I said, forgettable. So you don't want to waste money going to see it at cinemas. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
And my recommendation.
My recommendation is don't waste your time. The reason why you're probably thinking I want to see an Ocean's movie is because you want to see a heist movie. And there are a lot of heist movies that you can watch, including the original trilogy, which have like well thought out heists, exciting execution of the heists, and then drama after the heist.
Actual drama.
Like a movie where things happen. What happens in Ocean 8 is
it lacks all those.
You've got poor setup for a heist. The heist is not exciting at all. Nothing goes wrong. It is a perfectly executed heist. And I understand why they would do that from like a writing standpoint. It's just very uninteresting. It's very bland. There is no point in which the characters are in any danger. It is definitely one of these movies that you'd want to see at home, like on home release. And if you watch it at home, yeah, that's probably the best way to watch this kind of movie. There's nothing cinematic about it. It, to me, felt like a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah.
Like, it has the look of.
Yeah.
There's no good lenses.
No.
The cinematography is just wide shot.
It's a basic movie.
Yeah, made-for-TV, 100%. It looks really cheap, but you've got shots where you've got, like, Cate Blanchett, Sandra Bullock, Rihanna,
Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah.
Helena Bonham Carter.
Helena Bonham Carter. Yeah.
Helena Bonham Carter.
I hope. So basically, you've got all of them in a shot, and that shot, if you look at it from, like, a money standpoint, that kind of shot is worth, like, $100,000.
Yeah.
Getting all of those actresses in a room costs millions. But it's cheap, it's lazily written, and it's uninteresting. Wait for a home release. During the movie, I was thinking, so if I had this on my laptop at home, I would have skipped this bit. Yeah. I would have... There was a point in the movie where I went, I would have fast-forwarded this. Then I think that's probably...
Pointless story. There's nothing... Yeah. Can't stress enough how just pointless it kind of all was.
There was nothing, not even a single scene in the movie where I was engaged. It was really by the numbers, average. So we're going to delve right into spoilers. And I want to know, Harry, if there was anything in particular that you like. Was there something that you really didn't like, or was it just average?
It's a good question, because I don't know if there was anything like I super like hated that I thought like was just, I don't know. It's really hard for me to kind of figure out like how I feel about this, because it's just pointless and it is forgettable. I think I'll talk about what I think I like, because there's probably less what I like than what I don't like. And I think in the actors and the characters' point of view, Anne Hathaway did amazingly. I think I would like... Okay, maybe not amazingly. I would say she was probably the best out of what was given to us. Out of, you know, pretty big names in Hollywood. And she really only was, like, the character that I thought was kind of interesting. Like, had the most depth. Even though her character was just a shallow, ditzy person until, like, the third act, when they decide to bring her in as a undercover kind of... Like, she was in it on the whole time sort of thing. So she did well. Helena Bonham Carter was also pretty good. Her character was kind of interesting as well. Somewhat. She was, you know, like a washed out fashion designer, and, you know, has for some reason decided to go into life of crime because she needs to clear her debts, which is again questionable. She didn't seem like a character that would kind of be involved in a criminal world. No. Same with Anne Hathaway's character.
No. She literally does it for fun.
Like if her character, from how they set her up, because she finds out in the movie what they're trying to do, which is steal this necklace, which is worth $150 million, and they're using her to get it out in the open. She figures out what they're doing. She kind of puts the pieces together, and then decides to join them and take a cut of the money. But as her character, from what I took in, it would have made more sense for her to just tell on them, to go to the cops. Yeah. Because she doesn't seem like that character. She seems rich and famous enough.
Yeah, she is.
She's rich and famous. Why? She doesn't need this money.
She doesn't.
She doesn't.
No, but that's why the really, like, trite and stupid line is in it. When she just says she wants friends. Logically, it makes no sense.
Right, I completely forgot.
No, so her reason as a character for doing it is she wanted a group of friends.
Yeah, because she hasn't got many female friends.
Still,
is what her
that is that is lazy writing. It's lazy writing. So this film, I would say the biggest thing with the film is it's incredibly lazy. Like every aspect of it. Like, this is a movie where the heist, like, I or anyone with half a brain cell could talk to their friend and work out a more in-depth heist than this. I don't know how the heist that they came up with in the movie, like, the filmmakers decided to make that heist. Yeah. Because there were very few steps involved in executing it. There was no drama or anything interesting about the heist itself. But not only that, this is an ensemble movie with, like, so it's Ocean's 8. So it's 8 central characters. Not a single one of them gets an arc. Not a single one of them has a memorable moment. And we're talking, like, when you have actors like Sandra Bullock, you know, Anne Hathaway, Helena Bonham Carter, when you have people like this, why don't they have standout scenes? Like, really funny scenes. Like, remember that scene where, like, Anne Hathaway did this amazing thing? Or remember that scene where Sandra Bullock was really funny? There's not a single moment in this movie where any of the ensemble cast of amazing performers gets any chance to do anything. And it's almost unbelievable how you could throw away an opportunity like that. And there is no character arc. Not a single one of them, even the lead of the movie, doesn't get an arc.
Sandra Bullock was very disappointing.
She was literally, so there's two people that, like, orchestrate the heist.
Sandra Bullock and Cate Blanchett. Yeah.
And they have no character. I've never seen characters this boring and uninteresting. They don't have character
even their
traits.
Relationship to each other, because they've been friends, essentially, how this movie's set up.
Apparently
they've been friends, but you could assume they literally just met. Yeah. Like, there was no connection between the two.
There was no chemistry.
There was no chemistry
among the cast.
No.
I don't.
Some of them they have known for a while. And some they just brought in, but you could assume they're all just meeting for the first time. Yeah. Like, it's just stupid how easy they get into this, and how, like, there's very little chemistry between any of them.
Yeah, and the problem is that even in a heist movie like this, the heist can be bad because at the end of the day, it's an ensemble movie. Like, these movies that come by, like the Avengers, the reason why you watch them is because it's the cast of people in it. and how they did not play off each other didn't make sense to me. Like,
Yeah.
they would have, like, there's no improv scenes.
No.
There's no comedic scenes.
There's nothing.
There's nothing, and I don't know. All you would have to do is pay all these people, get them in a room, turn a camera on, and you would get good results. I don't know how they didn't.
Yeah.
When you have actors like that.
It's a big letdown for what the cast was.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm having a thought, and something. It was just how it was such a lazy movie, and I'm gonna describe a scene to you where the whole idea of this heist is to steal this necklace, and then, you know, obviously sell it out of it, and they're trying to, you know, they get a scapegoat, they get someone to blame, but later when Anne Hathaway comes in, and just after that, they reveal that it wasn't the only thing they were going for at the Met Gala.
Yeah.
Instead, what they're also trying to do was get all the other royal jewelry that was on display at the Met Gala. And the way they did this was when everyone was distracted, and I'm using air quotation marks here, when everyone was distracted, they conveniently stole, what was it, 650 million? Or something. No, it would have been. It was like $1 billion, because they were getting like what, like 350 million each or something.
It was something ridiculous.
It was something ridiculous amount. No, mate. Okay, sorry. They were getting about 35 million each.
Yeah. So basically, it was about 200 million worth of.
I need to talk about this. Sorry, because I'm just thinking about this. So they get that. Yeah. So they're getting a lot more money than what they expected, because the two main leads decided to do this under everyone else's nose. Like, they didn't involve them at all, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, we have so much more money now because you did this," and it is so stupid, because the whole movie they're trying to set up this scene, like, get cameras in blind spots, like, make sure they have scapegoats, make sure it is a well thought out heist, whether it be not very interesting. And to think about this, they didn't even worry about cameras. They didn't worry about people. There was no setup to steal these specific jewelries pieces to make sure they didn't get caught. Logically, there would be cameras everywhere in the room they stole this stuff, and they didn't even think about distracting them. Actually, never mind. I'm now thinking about it. They did distract them by putting an iPhone in front of the cameras.
The selfie sticks.
What they did was get Amazon selfie sticks, took a picture of the room somehow from the camera's point of view, and just put it in front of it.
Which is illogical.
Because the camera, for one, would have seen them do that.
Yeah.
And there's no way they could have gotten the picture of the camera's point of view.
There's a security guard watching the footage.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
So it is very logical how they decided to then get a lot more money than what they expected. And I just think that is just so lazy, because it was literally a 5-minute explanation at the end of how they got this.
Yep.
Whereas the whole movie was focused on this one piece of jewelry that Anne Hathaway was wearing.
Yeah, but it is literally one of the laziest Hollywood movies I've ever seen. And to go on further about how bad, like how low this movie goes in terms of the writers did not care. If we go on about that scene, the reason why you just brought it up is because it's that bad. It is that bad. And
it's very bad.
Just to go on about it, like, you can't put an iPhone in front of a security camera. That would be debunked, right? 100% already.
Yeah.
2, you're planning a heist with all of your friends, meticulously planned. You involve them. You would have just said, okay, so we're also going to steal this. Let's plan this out together to do it correctly. There is the reason why the characters did not involve their friends in the second part of the heist is just so the movie could have a cool moment.
Convenient,
It is completely illogical, and it was just so the movie could be like, oh, we're smart.
Yeah.
Not only that, the actual characters, so basically they knew, they were like, okay, so if we need to be in this room to steal the jewelry, guards at some point are going to come.
Yeah.
So their plan, the extent of their plan, is one of the girls is just going to stand there. Sandra Bullock is just going to stand there and go on in another language to distract the guards. What would have happened in real life, or even in the movie's logic, what would have actually happened is one of the guards would have just walked past her.
Because there was more than one entrance as well.
Yeah, there were 3 guards.
I'm sure
there were multiple entrances, etc., etc. And their entire foolproof plan was to put selfie sticks in front of live cameras and to just stand there and talk
And it
another
would have
language.
taken them forever to do it.
To do that, yeah.
Longer than what the
Yeah.
movie portrays them
Yeah.
when all the guards are distracted
Because they
when
had
the
to do
necklace
the acrobatics. They had to send this little machine in to grab everything. That would have taken...
is missing. So long.
Yeah.
And to set up the selfie stick cameras.
Yeah.
Like, it is illogical. It is, like you say, they're just trying to make themselves look smart. When
Yeah.
it is just makes
Yeah.
them look like the dumbest pieces of shits ever.
And they are all in the scene that they're explaining how they did the second part of the heist. They're all drinking beer, right? Which is
Yeah.
Budweiser, by the way. I want to talk about the product
There's a
placement in a
lot
sec.
of product
It is
placement
shocking,
in this movie.
but we're not having that conversation just yet because they're all standing there with the beer, and then she opens the fridge to reveal all the jewelry, but they already got all the beers. Are you telling me that they hid the jewelry in the fridge and no one opened the fridge?
Oh my god.
You
can just like pick pieces of this movie and be like, that's just so dumb. It was specifically, especially, it was after Anne Hathaway was revealed to be on their side. I think that's where it just really went downhill. Because it was just really quick, lazy writing.
Yeah.
Like, it was the last 20 minutes where they just decided we need to wrap this up.
But the problem was that the heist, in my eyes, was so lazy and just boring that I thought the real movie was going to come. Because James Corden is introduced,
Corden, yeah.
which... James Corden's introduced, and from that point the movie takes a turn of, it looks like the detective is going to slowly unravel the plan.
Yeah, because he plays as the insurance
Yeah.
fraud detective to try and figure out where this necklace has gone and to obviously arrest
Yeah.
the people involved. Which in end
It makes-
turns
it
out...
makes sense.
It makes sense. James Corden, he did well for what he got in this movie.
He was
I
a lot
think
better,
he was a bit of a comic relief, I guess.
Yeah.
And his acting wasn't sloppy.
No, he put in effort.
He put in effort and he did well for what he did. So, you know, I commend him for that at least. But he knows Debbie Ocean. He knows the family. He knows what they're involved in. He saw her at the Met Gala. He then makes a meeting with her and is like, you did it. And she's like, yeah, I did it. But I'm going to give you, like, 10% of the necklace so you can blame someone else and let me go. And he's like, that's fine.
Yeah.
He knows full well she has all of it.
And he's not, he's the good guy. He's the good guy, detective guy. And he knows that she's got it. And the reason why all of these events happen is because someone wrote this in an evening. Like, no joke. That's an exaggeration. But nothing about it's complex.
No.
Nothing about it's interesting. There is not a single character arc.
No.
There is no
There's
thought
no,
of pacing.
there's no
There's no
climax.
structure.
There's no climax.
There's no climax.
It is
There's
smooth
no ending.
sailing the whole entire
Yeah.
movie. The climax is James Corden being like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Take the necklace.
And then I thought to myself comedically, now let's have a scene where they all use the money. Then there's a scene and they all use the money.
They're all sitting on the train on a subway, separate, not talking to each other, looking like cool and
for the shot,
smooth.
for the shot.
And then it cuts to each one and what they spend their money on. And that's pretty much it. And then the movie ends with Debbie going up to Danny's grave and being like,
You would have loved this.
you would have loved this. That's pretty much the ending. But anyway, so it's just such a forgettable, stupid, lazy written movie. I don't even remember them getting everyone together.
Yeah.
It was literally she got out of jail. Debbie got out of jail.
Then each scene was introducing
Each scene was introducing each character and obviously, setting it all up and starting to try and figure out the plan. She has it all in her head. She's been figuring this out while she's in prison. Which is also kind of a bit stupid in the sense because she was in prison and she's like, I'm going to get out by the time the Met Gala's on. And I know exactly everyone's movements. I know who to get. I know what to do. She knows everything when she's in prison. She would not have the information, I feel like.
Yeah, it's a big stretch.
It's a big stretch.
Yeah.
It could happen. Because I think she was because when she was leaving, she was talking to the security guard and was like, and the security guard knew what she was doing. She was faking it all to try and get out. So I think maybe she had connections in the prison, but it still was. It's a stretch. It's a big stretch for her to know exactly what to do.
And the thing is that you've got a movie like this, and so they introduce a bunch of famous actors like Rihanna and stuff. They introduce these famous actresses, right? And then they go on a heist, and then the movie ends. That, on paper, is by definition interesting. Having a bunch of A-list cast, do a heist is interesting, no matter how you'd write it. But they managed to be so lazy that this movie doesn't even have jokes.
No.
Like, this movie with this cast,
There was no funny moment.
there's no jokes. There's no funny scenes. There's no mess up in the heist. How do you have a movie, like, let's say you were going to write the scene where Rihanna is a weed-smoking hacker
Yeah.
who's introduced to the film.
Yeah.
You have to try and make that unfunny, and they did. It's not funny.
Yeah.
She, by definition, should have at least been entertaining. And she was better than a lot of the other,
Rihanna did well, yeah.
But
I would say none of the actors did
No,
horribly
they
in
didn't.
their acting skills.
It was the
It was
script.
just very boring characters.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault. Like, they did what they could for
Yeah.
what they had.
Yeah.
Although I do feel like Sandra Bullock and Cate Blanchett should have had more.
Yeah.
Whether
as
that
the
be
leads.
down to script or whether that be down to they're just washed out and they don't
Yeah.
know what they're doing. But that's questionable. It's probably definitely down to the actual script.
It was just, their performances were never there. For me, I was just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And the biggest problem for me is the lack of any character arc. Because even if the performance was bad, if there was something they learned, like, for example, one of the biggest problems I have in the movie is Sandra Bullock's character wants to get back at her ex. That is a big plot. And
Because
so,
her ex set her up to go to prison, essentially,
Yeah.
and she just wants to do the same to him.
yeah, exactly. And so it makes sense, your ex sends you to prison for 5 years, you want to send him to prison. But that's her entire story. She wants to send him to prison, and without challenge, she just sends him to prison. She learns nothing as a character.
Yeah.
Movie ends. That is unbelievable.
It's even stupid stuff. Like, they put complications in the movie. Like, for example, when they have the necklace on Anne Hathaway for the first time, and the security guard's like, you need a special magnet to unlock
Yeah.
it.
I thought
And
it'd
that's
be a
like,
problem.
and that's like, that's going to be a massive problem.
Yeah.
But it turns out Rihanna has a sister who knows exactly how to figure it out
Yeah.
and makes an exact copy of how to do
Yeah.
it. And that's it. It is literally a 2-minute complication.
Yeah, but the problem was that the writers wrote it in to add drama,
To add drama.
have more going on in the heist. They write it in to make the movie more interesting, then they unwrite it out. And it's literally because they didn't care.
Yeah.
Or if they did care, they just don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
There's literally, like, we're sounding like we think these people are lazy, they're bad, and it's because what happened in this movie showed us that whatever they did on a story level was bad.
Yeah.
There's no talent. There was literally no talent involved. I don't know if it was because the studio just wanted, like, a product or whatever.
Right, like, because
It could be
then
that.
going into the whole marketing point of view,
Yeah.
there was so much product placement.
Yeah.
The marketing has been pretty insane for Ocean's 8
Oh,
because
yeah.
it is a
It's all over the
all-female
place. Yeah.
cast of the original, and that is a big thing happening in Hollywood at the moment.
Yeah.
It's very inspiring and very motivational, but when they do a movie like this, it lets it down.
Yeah.
It makes you not want to see movies like this where it's all-female casts.
Yeah.
Like, because it's just like, well, you're just making a boring rehash of something that was already good, just to put females in it, though.
Yeah. Well, no, it's because...
Not to, like...
No, but what you're getting at is the problem...
Like, they could make it so
yeah.
good,
No,
especially with the actors
They
they
did
had.
it. They did it
the
last
actresses
year.
they had, like, yeah.
Because when they made Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
When they brought Ghostbusters, I don't care that I literally because people mistake males when they discuss these films. People don't care that Ghostbusters was changed to be females.
Yeah.
People don't care that Oceans was changed to be females. Ghostbusters and Ocean's 8 are lazily written, lazily directed studio products, and it's bad movies. They're bad movies.
It's movies that have a real good chance of being really good because it is awesome seeing female actresses in these roles of rehashes of movies that were classics.
It makes sense. They're bad
It is
movies.
a genius combination, but we've seen it with Ghostbusters, and now we're seeing it again with Ocean's 8. It's lazy writing and lazy direction, and it lets it down so much.
Yeah, because if the movie was good, that would be so much
It
better
would be
for what they're doing.
amazing.
What they're trying to do would be so much better if the, lack of a better term, the female resurgence
Give us
was really
a new
good.
movie with these actresses,
Yeah,
and
new
it would
one.
be better.
Original one.
An original story, whether it be a heist movie, just don't call it Oceans. Like, just make something new.
Yeah. It didn't need to be called Oceans. The reason they called it Oceans is just because
Well,
of
the connection.
money. Yeah,
the money.
Yeah.
The money for the series, obviously,
Yeah.
and the connection with the characters. But even then, It didn't matter.
And, like, for example, one of the worst... Like, obviously, at this point, you can tell how bad the movie is. But, like, one of the things is Steven Soderbergh is the director of the original trilogy, and he makes kind of artsy films now, but he has a vision. Like, he makes movies, essentially. He just makes good movies. And what he did with the original Ocean's movies is he made them feel like... He wanted to make really cheesy heist movies, and he purposefully had all this ridiculously terrible editing. So he had editing where, like, the screen was flying and,
the
like,
transitions
warp
were
shots.
terrible.
Yeah. But when he did that in those movies, because the movie is so well put together, when you have, like, a star wipe, it's a really ridiculous looking cut, it feels right because he had a vision for it. In this movie, they use terrible editing on purpose because that's what the Ocean series has done.
Yes.
But they do it incorrectly,
Yeah.
and it makes the movie look like shit because they didn't have a vision.
And the issue is they did it sparsely as well, so it was
Yeah.
literally put in randomly and
Random
it just
edits.
didn't fit. If they put it in throughout the whole movie, it would make sense.
Yeah.
Because it's an Ocean's movie, it's a heist movie. It's you know, it's got that style of like weird transitions, but it just didn't make sense in this movie at all.
Never made sense.
It didn't fit it.
And the transitions were just horrible.
Yeah.
Like, it's just... For example, Rihanna is going to hit a pool ball, and the screen warps into the pool ball, and then flips back out of it. And I felt... I looked at that and was like, that is gross.
Yeah.
Like, you should have just not done that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, back on product placement, just really
Yeah.
quickly.
I think that's probably the
It
next
was
big thing.
the
definitely.
thing was that there was so many. They name dropped literally like hundreds of brands, like Vogue, Budweiser,
Amazon.
Amazon. Or just I can't even name them because there were so many.
Cartier
Cartier
was a big thing.
massive. Nearly every scene.
And then there was also
Shops.
actors and
Bags.
actresses.
Yeah.
They referenced Leonardo DiCaprio,
Yeah.
right? They had Heidi Klum in there.
Yes.
They had Serena
Serena
Williams.
No, but
they name dropped Roger Federer.
Yeah.
Like it was a real
Yeah.
random assortment
Yeah.
of name drops
But
and product
the problem
placements.
with the Serena Williams one is Serena Williams is a very popular female sports person.
Yes.
So it's fine name
Huge
dropping
figure,
her, but
yeah. Well, same with Heidi Klum.
But
especially considering it's the Met Gala. Like, that's massive.
it makes sense. But when Serena Williams pops up, the problem you can mention her, but if you have a shop in the movie, do not. This is what they did. Serena Williams shows up for like a tiny 10-second interview, and the only thing that happens is the interviewer goes, "You're an amazing mom. You know, you're an amazing athlete. You're an amazing person." She goes, "Okay," and then it cuts.
Yeah.
Now they
Yeah.
literally. They had her in, praised her for being a good female, and that was it. It was, it's gross. Like it's just like you just jerked someone off.
Yeah.
It's like that's not even movie. That's something that, you know, a media station does,
Yeah.
like Channel 9 News, but it's in a movie.
Yeah.
And when you have literally 10, 20 products in your movie that are constantly mentioned, it's offensive. They made their money back before this movie was released.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
Definitely.
Without a question.
Yeah, with all the shit they had in
Yeah.
it, they that's the thing. They didn't need to make a good movie
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
had so much product placement.
This movie
so many
made
people
money.
backing it. They would have had the money already. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It doesn't
It's-
matter what they get in cinemas. They don't care.
It's a
and
terrible
that is
movie.
what makes it terrible.
It's lazy.
because they just don't care.
It's
and
a cash
it could have
grab.
been a good movie.
It's crap.
Imagine like this all-star female cast in a really in-depth heist movie.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to see that movie.
That's what I thought I was gonna see.
No, but then again.
No, but-
There was leading up to this, the reviews have been terrible. I've
Yeah.
heard a lot of bad things, and I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting much.
No,
and
but-
it was exactly what I was expecting.
I was expecting.
it was nothing.
But I was expecting a heist.
Maybe at least something
Like, just-
different. At least a complication.
Yeah. No, I was expecting a normal movie.
Yeah.
It's literally a cash grab
Yeah.
movie. It's a studio product, and I was honestly just expecting a mediocre movie.
Yeah.
This isn't a movie. Like, this is borderline not a movie. It really didn't like it.
Yeah.
I don't want it to make money because it doesn't, like, it's almost offensive to audiences, and if this movie makes a lot of money, studios are going to keep doing it. Because if a studio can release a movie that has heaps of product placement, talent of the actors, right, but really lazy rehash of an old franchise. They did it with Ghostbusters, it made money. So they did it with this. And these movies are bad for the industry.
Yeah.
It is just straight up bad for the industry. And if people go and see movies like this, they're going to keep doing it.
So pretty much just... This movie is something that you can watch. I'm not going to say don't watch it, but just don't waste your time with it if you aren't interested.
Yeah.
You know, give us an original story with these amazing actresses, like an A-list actresses, someone who is like actually good at directing, and you know, give us something interesting. What this isn't, like, you know, it just is so boring, so forgettable. I can't believe they made something this bad with what they had. With what they had, like they had so much opportunity, and I'm just disappointed. I'm really disappointed in what happened with this movie and coming out of it. And that's pretty much it. Like I can't say more.
No, well, that's it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll be reviewing most major releases, even films like Ocean 8. So I don't know, I suppose stick around for the next one, and I hope that you enjoyed it.
2 out of 5 stars. Shit.